we always knew we were destined to be something massive.
Yeah.
We didn't just want to be dentists and see patients. We've been there, we've done that, and it's fantastic, but we knew we were destined to more. We knew we were destined to make a bigger impact. That satisfaction of building something massive. The biggest wins that we see right now is when we hit records, when our team are smashing it with Yorkshire Dental Suite. We do some treatment plans that are £26,000, but we actually get happier right now by a few £1,000s aligner treatment, because it's about the wins of Smile White. We're building the company up. Everyone thinks dentists are rich, but there are a lot of poor dentists, and that's the reason as to why we made a successful dentist academy, to teach dentists how to become successful, what mindset you need, how to get your own inquiries, how to communicate with patients. All these things were not taught at dental school, so we're here to bridge that gap between how to become not just a dentist, but to become a high-earning, successful dentist.
What's the difference between your product and this purple toothpaste?
So our product...
Right, guys, I thought, let's just start this podcast a little bit different. So I'm just going to give you a quick fire questions just to kind of get the conversation going and make it a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go straight in, guys, yeah? Does bad breath give you the ick?
Definitely, man. Bad breath definitely is a massive ick. You have to have fresh, clean airways, smelling breath, and you have to keep it that way. Go for hygiene appointments every 3 months. Use a tongue scraper, brush your teeth twice a day, and you won't have any problems or any complaints.
Top tips for oral hygiene.
Brushing twice a day. Make sure you brush between the tooth and the gum. That's where bacteria and plaque accumulates.
Okay.
And also use a water flosser as well.
Yeah, I've seen them actually. Is that the new phenomenon?
They're really good. Yeah, so basically it's like a jet wash for your teeth.
Okay. How long should you brush your teeth for?
3 minutes is the optimal time to brush your teeth for. Use an electric toothbrush, not a manual toothbrush. An electric toothbrush will clean better between your teeth and gums. Do you always brush your teeth for 3 minutes, Hussain? No.
All I do is 2 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, because I think there's those electric toothbrushes that you can get that are just set for like 2 minutes, and then because otherwise you're just going to stand there for 2 minutes because you won't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And also, it just came to me now, yeah. So that when you meet someone, do you look at their teeth like first?
Definitely. The first thing that we look at when we speak. You've got a nice smile, actually.
Yeah.
Actually have a nice smile.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah. First thing that the eyes are drawn towards on the face is the teeth, the smile. So if your smile is not on fleek, one of the things to get sorted ASAP, because everybody wants a nice smile these days.
Yeah.
There's a cosmetic boom going on, thanks to shows like Love Island, social media. Everyone wants a nice smile. So if you haven't got a nice smile, get it done.
Yeah, but what I've noticed with teeth, just my personal perspective on it, is a lot of these celebrities, especially not so much now actually, but the fake look, the block, it looks like a block. Like, is that good?
That's out of fashion now. So that fake look, the Hollywood smile, it's nowhere near as popular as a natural smile. That's what's more popular now. Okay. So people are leaning more towards aligners and whitening than going for a really loud, artificial, ultra white looking smile. That sort of period of time where it was fashionable, it's going out the window. Now it's more natural smiles are in. And you see that happening with trends.
Yeah, okay. No, that actually does make sense. Okay, and what's the key thing for white teeth?
The key thing for white teeth is making sure that you brush your teeth twice a day, but also if you do drink tea or coffee, or have something like curry, for example, which has staining powders in there, drink some water afterwards. So don't let those stains form over the tooth surface and stay there. Rinse them away with water straight away. Another thing is, don't fall for the purple toothpaste gift.
Well, we were going to say that to a little bit later, but we're bringing it up now.
Because they definitely do not whiten teeth. If you want to get your teeth whitened, go to a dentist and use a dentist grade whitening solution. That's why we took over Smile White, because it's the fastest growing dental products company, and it gives a product that actually whitens teeth. You can't go and shop online and buy something off the shelf to get white teeth. You have to get dentist grade whitening gel done by a dentist with whitening trays. That's the only way you're going to get white teeth.
Okay, guys, just for a little bit of context, there's a very well-known company that's going viral on TikTok especially, where they're claiming that this purple toothpaste is the key for white teeth. It's meant to happen instantaneously, apparently. And you guys are claiming that's false.
Yeah.
So what is it that they're saying? I don't know how much you want to speak about this, but what are they saying to make such wild claims?
So So let's just completely debunk the biggest myth that exists across the world, I would say. How does teeth whitening actually work? Not many people know the science behind it, and it's really simple. The inside part of the tooth is made out of dentinal tubules, which are like small pores in the tooth, small holes in the tooth.
Okay.
Over time, tea, coffee, debris goes into those holes in the tooth. It makes the tooth turn yellow.
Okay.
What the whitening does is it breaks those stains down, and that's how the tooth becomes whiter. So if you're whitening, you need something that's powerful enough to break those stains down, and that's why it needs to be dental grade whitening, because the concentration has to be strong.
So are they claiming to be dental grade?
No, this is the thing. The concentration is very, very weak. It's non-professional, and it's the agents in the non-professional whitening. They're not strong enough to break the stains down in the pore of the tooth and the holes in the tooth, and that's why it doesn't work.
So are we saying this is a gimmick?
Massive gimmick. And if you look online and you think purple toothpaste is going to whiten your teeth, you seriously need to get the brain cells of your brain checked out and reviewed, and just check how many brain cells actually exist in your brain. Check on the products that you're going to purchase.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to just buy a purple toothpaste and it'll miraculously whiten your teeth. It just doesn't work. Go to a dentist, get professional teeth whitening products. Check out our brand Smile White, tried and tested products that actually whiten teeth. We use it ourselves. And ultimately, if you go for these other products, you're just going to be let down. You're going to be sold a false promise, and you're going to basically walk away without any white teeth. I'm actually whitening my teeth right now. I'm in day 3.
Jeez.
That's it. So 3 days in, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so just to kind of summarize this whole little debacle, yeah? What's the difference between your product and this purple toothpaste?
So our product, if you look at the active whitening ingredient, it's a 16% concentration of active whitening ingredient.
Okay.
That's what our product is, and it's dental grade, done by dentists in a dental clinic. Non-professional products, on the other hand, they're 0.16% active ingredient.
Oh, damn.
That's 100 times weaker than a product like ours, which is called Smile White Whitening.
Okay.
And so because of that, it's just really ineffective at whitening teeth, and it just doesn't work.
You know what it is? As I think it's because we're living in such a mad era, I'd say, with the whole TikTok sensation, short form content, that they've just blew up on TikTok, and people are so gullible to believe these things because, like, I've done a previous podcast on sort of, the common myths with food and stuff, what's good for you, what's bad for you. But there's so much information out there, people don't know who to believe and who not to believe.
Yeah.
So I think it's important just kind of go down to the facts, which is what you've said. And I think it's important for for the guys listening to kind of take that information and make educated, decisions.
Just what you said as well. I do think the minds of consumers are changing now.
Yeah.
They're sick and tired of just looking at influencers and looking at what other people are doing and just copying what other people are doing and just buying an offer.
Okay.
They now want to listen to industry authorities who know about the industry they're in, like dentists in dentistry, for example, architects in architecture, and they want to trust them and follow what they say. So I am seeing, and we are seeing, a difference now in the way that consumers are thinking, and we're seeing that in Smile White as well. People are coming to us because, it's products done by dentists, delivered by dentists, developed by dentists, and we're seeing that more and more.
No, I like that because, again, even with the podcast, the platform that we're, currently growing, I want to bring actual value to the audience rather than just seeing these gimmicks online. I want people to watch podcasts like these and actually get some value from it. My motto has always been inspire, motivate, and educate.
Amazing.
And one of the main reasons to get you guys on, one, you guys are doing very well, mashallah. And I know you guys are going to be able to bring so much value to the podcast. So it's going to be an interesting one. Another interesting thing I wanted to talk about was your 8-figure deal.
Yep.
Yeah. But we'll save that for a little bit later on.
No worries at all. So your motto is inspire, motivate, and what was the third one?
Educate.
I think that's fantastic, and I think that's what we're all about. Inspire. It's such an important word in our lives, and we want to inspire the youth that you don't have to lose yourself along the journey of success. You can stay true to yourself, true to your roots, true to your culture, religion, true to your parents. Along our journey, we could have easily gone crazy and started making these crazy claims and flashing money around left, right, and center to get views, but we've always been mindful of our culture, our religion, and our family. Whatever we do, we always think twice. How is this reflecting on ourselves? How does this reflect on our family? And will God be happy? And we've got such a responsibility now to ensure that we're setting the right image for the youth, for the future of this country, of the world. And when we're out and about, we get recognized. People come up to us. Youngsters start, going crazy when we pull up in our 911 Turbo S, our Bentayga or G-Wagon. And, the youth are looking at these things now. They want the nice car, they want the nice clothes, they want the nice watch. So we've automatically got a responsibility to show them that route forward, show them that journey to success. And you can be a good Muslim, you can be a good son or daughter, you can be a good student, you can be a good human being and still achieve success. And that's what we're all about. And as days go by, as months go by, when we're seeing more success on our journey, we feel that responsibility more and more.
And where does that come from?
I personally think we've been raised in such a way, and it's all thanks to our parents, where we genuinely have good hearts. We genuinely want to help people. We genuinely love being able to make a difference. And right now, we've got 60 staff. We love being able to give our staff promotions, pay rises, being able to have that meeting with them where we say to them, well done, you've done a great job, you've done X, Y, and Z. Here's another X amount every single year. Enjoy it. So many bosses out there, when they make it to the top, they're selfish. They want to keep every single penny. But we've got an abundant mindset. We want to give, rather than take. And it's come from our parents, from the way we've been raised, from our experience in life. We started off in Savile Green, one of the worst areas in Leeds, in a council estate block of apartments where we didn't really have the best place to live. But because we've come from there and now we're here, we've experienced that journey called life, and it's shaped us into people that appreciate the good times now, and where we don't just think, oh, we've got this, we've got that. It is what it is. We're very appreciative. I think as well, when you mention Hussain, when you mention being aspirational, we've been on our own journey through life. So as we've been through life, we started a YouTube channel when we were in second year or first year dental school, and it didn't really get the success that we wanted, to be honest. It didn't really go anywhere. And this was when we first started off the YouTube channel. We were putting in, didn't really see it take off. And we just thought to ourselves, let's make ourselves more of a well-rounded, successful person, rather than just doing the gym content, which is what it was all about. Let's take a step back. Let's focus on the business side. Let's really build a business. Let's work on different areas, not just working out. Let's become really valuable in terms of what we can give to other people. And let's have another go. And that's what we've done. And that's why it's really taken off now, more than we ever imagined, really, because we've now come back in the social media scene, not just experts in building a great body and how to put together a certain diet, training plan, routine, how to be disciplined, the business side, so knowing how to build, scale and operate a business, but at the same time, sticking to our religious beliefs and our ethics. We've just combined all of that, and I think it's been really well received and liked by the youth especially. And it comes back to your question, where did that come from? And where did us wanting to be aspirational to people come from? It's come from our journey, us learning as well, and understanding what's needed to really be a well-rounded, successful person, which is different aspects to it.
So right now, you guys are sort of, you guys are running a very successful businesses. You guys are not necessarily in the clinics yourself now, are you? I want to understand the transition going from, becoming, a normal dentist to, owning, multiple businesses. And because a lot of people, when they're in a profession, they kind of stick to that.
Yeah.
So my first question in that regard would be, have you guys always wanted like your own empire, your own business, or was it just something that, I want to do dentistry and that's it?
Great question, Abdul. And I think everyone's in their own journey in life. You've got your own journey with this podcast. Inshallah, it's going to be the best podcast ever. You're going to see tremendous growth. Everyone has their own goal in life. And if you don't have a goal, my advice is think of what you want to achieve. Because if you don't have a goal, it's like you're going to the airport, you want to get to Dubai, but you don't have that ticket to Dubai and you end up in Kenya. Think of what that destination you want it to be so you can map out the steps needed to get there. And with us, we always knew we were destined to be something massive.
Yeah.
We didn't just want to be dentists and see patients. We've been there, we've done that, and it's fantastic. We love patients and we love our clients, but we knew we were destined to more. We knew we were destined to make a bigger impact. And we couldn't achieve that impact being inside what we call the machine. So in a business, you've got different components, right? And if you think about those components, you've got your team, marketing, customer service, finance, operations, HR. They're all different components of this machine, and they all work in synergy to make the machine work. And after we graduated from uni, we were part of that machine. We were seeing patients, we were motivating the team, we were speaking to the different team members to make sure the service that we provided was fantastic. But over the years, what we realized is we have to become machine operators and step outside that machine to be able to replicate what we have in one area and allow it to be done in different areas.
Okay.
And you can only do that when you're outside of the machine. That's why some of these big businesses that you see, they have different teams, different structures, and every team has a team manager. Because one of the most important things, or two things that are really important in a business, is accountability and discipline. Is something that we learned really early on our journey. If you have discipline in an organization, the different cogs of that machine will operate well. And if you have accountability, i.e. team managers with KPIs, with reporting stats, then nobody can basically blag you. There's KPIs. Every team manager has their own KPIs that the team has to carry out. And that way, you know what needs to be done. And
but where did you guys learn that from? Because, and I say this, the reason why I say this is a lot of people will go into business and like you said, there's one working in your business and there's one working on your business.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know we've been blessed to have many advisors along our journey. We've had mentors that are worth almost half a billion pounds that we've not even talked about in our past. And it's the first time we've come out and said it. And we still work very closely with these people. And there's two ways that you can learn in life. You can either learn through your own experiences, or you can learn from the experiences of other people. And we've been blessed to be able to learn from other people and see what they've done right, but also what they've done wrong, and apply it to our own journeys. But then also, we started off on the reception desk at our clinic as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so we learned the hard way.
Oh, so you guys are grafted.
There you go. So we learn what the consequences are if you don't understand sales. Because when an inquiry comes in, you won't know how to convert that inquiry into a booking, which means there's loads of white space in your diary. Dentists aren't getting the treatments, and no money's being made in the clinic. So that was one thing that we learned. We learned what to do, what would happen if the team aren't motivated, team members leave, you have staffing issues, you can't grow, you're under immense pressure. What happens then? Clients start to get affected. When clients get affected, you start to get a bad name. It's a downward cycle. So we've been in all these different situations of not having clients, not having a brand, not having a team, not having a smooth operation. And because we've been in that painful situation, we've learned from that pain. And when you learn from pain, you don't want to go through that pain again. And you think, what can I do not to go through this pain again? The answer is gain the knowledge that you didn't have before that will stop you from being in that painful situation again in the future. And when you're put under pressure like that in life, you will learn the knowledge. You will go on that course. You will watch that YouTube video. You will read the book. You will try something new. And all life is, and all success is, trying out different strategies towards getting to your overall goal. Some strategies will work, some methods will work, others won't. And all you do is drop the strategies or methods that don't work and roll forward with the things that do work and make them bigger and bigger and branch out on those.
It reminds me of that saying, fail your way to success.
I do agree with that. However, I think all these sayings about fail fast and fail your way to success, I mean, it's great, but we've always believed in try not to fail. Try to
that would help.
Sit down and think harder rather than work harder.
Okay.
Sit down, get yourself a whiteboard. There's 2 whiteboards in this living room. Wherever we go, there's whiteboards. And just take 5 hours to sit down and plan out your strategy. Think of what can go wrong. Think of what can go right. Think of what things might not work out. And if you can really strategize, there's a famous saying, the battle is won off the battlefield. We literally spend all our Sundays in our office on 5 or 6 massive whiteboards, mapping out what our next campaign is, what can go right, what we need to change, what needs to be optimized. Sometimes it does fail, but 8 times out of 10, it works because we've taken the due diligence and time to think about the whole plan and execute it properly. And it goes back to a word that we believe in massively, conscientiousness. Every single staff member that works for us, our managers sit down with them and teach them this word inside out because it's one of the most important words in our organization. And it breaks down into 4 different subfacets. Organization, prudence. Prudence means the ability to make the right decision. Diligence, working hard. And perfectionism, being a perfectionist. Before a pilot takes off on that plane, he checks all the controls or she checks all the controls. Are you organizing your day the day before? Who do you know that sits down in their bed or on their coffee table and maps out an agenda for the next day and ticks that agenda off as they do it? We do it every single day. Being a person that shows up and wants to be the hardest worker in the room. We are the hardest working people in dentistry. So there's no kidding as to why we're living like we're living. It's because we put the work in. We work every single day around the clock. We never take days off. Even when we're on holiday, we're working. And it shows in our life. And there's so many people.
You can tell you guys are on a mission. Even just speaking to you guys now, you can just tell you're so focused. You're you know, you kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite impressed with you guys, even from a very short conversation that we've had now. You know, you guys obviously know what you're talking about, and it kind of makes more sense to kind of understand now how you guys managed to kind of sort of 8-figure deal on purchasing a new business.
The fact is, I don't mean to sound arrogant or big-headed.
Yeah.
We are cut from a different cloth, and winners are winners for a reason, because they don't make excuses, they're not soft on themselves, they don't kid themselves. I will look Hassan in the eye and tell him, Hassan, what we're doing, we're messing around here. Why are we not doing this? Why are we not strategizing on this? Why are we not executing this? You know, other people or other teams will sit there and say, oh, it didn't work because of X, Y, and Z. No, the fact is, it didn't work because you didn't execute properly. Just look yourself in the mirror, look your team in the mirror, and just tell them we need to do better. Otherwise, next time there'll be worse consequences. There's been days where we've been sat in a boardroom with our team, myself, Hussain, a few other team members, and, you know, Hussain will just look at everyone and say, look, I'm shit, you're shit, he's shit, you're also shit, and just be honest, you know, we've all done a shit job here.
And you don't take it personal.
No, you can't take it personal, and this is where a lot of people go wrong. They'll put a plan together. I want to achieve this. In order for me to achieve this, I need to do this, this, and this. But they know deep down, if they were fully truthful with themselves, they already know it's not going to work because they haven't thought the full process through to perfection. Whereas if you can be brutally honest with yourself first and be upfront, straight with yourself, you'll often make a lot less mistakes than what you will have done. There's a very famous saying, Abdul. Would you rather be rich or would you rather be right? Too many people would rather be right about that idea. The marketplace decides if you're right or wrong. So separate emotion from logic. Don't be emotional about your idea or a business plan or company. The fact is, think of a product or service, market the hell out of it, put it out to the marketplace, and if the marketplace needs what you're offering, they'll give you the pounds for that service or product. Don't be emotional about it.
I like that. Don't be emotional about it. I've had that conversation a few times with a few friends of mine, and, you know, we always get quite emotionally attached to our businesses.
Human nature, yeah.
And like you said, you know, if I've thought of a strategy, I want it to work because I've thought of it. I just want it to be right rather than being rich. And forget all that. Take your emotions out the way.
And it's Arabs and Pakistanis, Indians. Our cultures are the worst for it. You know, the way we've been raised is to protect our companies or businesses like little babies, and we get so emotionally attached to them.
You're right.
But the fact is, if you want to be a titan in your industry, scale up, you have to separate your emotion from your business. Do what's best for that business. And that's why most parents out there, they work until they're 70 and they struggle to leave that business because they're so emotionally attached to it. But actually, that business should serve you to gain freedom. Otherwise, you've got a job working in a business, that's all it is. You're not really a business owner.
I've said
you've employed yourself to work in your business, and if you want to make yourself feel better and say you're a business owner, fantastic. A business provides freedom for you. And what will happen then is somebody else will come along in your industry who understands real business metrics and how a business actually operates. They'll scale up faster than you because they can motivate, inspire, and onboard team members who see their vision in your industry, and you'll be a nobody. And essentially, you'll be pushed out of the marketplace, and you will have wished that you had the bigger mindset earlier than them.
You're right. You know, I 100% agree with that, because again, especially in the hospitality industry, because I used to own a dessert shop for 8 years. I pretty much said this in every single podcast, you know? But yeah, I used to own a dessert shop for 8 years, and I've realized that's what we do. We kind of box ourselves in. We don't want to delegate tasks to other people, experts in whatever they do. And we kind of just get so emotionally attached that we just created that job for ourselves. That's what we've done. It's a glamorized job that we can, like you said, we can just call ourselves a business owner. And that probably goes for your industry as well as the hospitality industry as well.
You become a slave to your business. And so many dentists out there are just slaves to their dental clinic. They can't take any days off. They stay until 9 p.m. seeing low-value patients, and they just live a life of frustration. And they blame people like us who have created an actual brand, an actual business, flying out private jets, going wherever we want with massive time freedom, and then they start to dislike us and slag us in Facebook groups. But the fact is, they need to join the Successful Dentist Academy, learn how to bridge that gap between what they're doing right now
Shots fired.
and where they want to be, and jump on board the winning team.
I like that. There's a few questions I want to go to, but before that, I know family business is very difficult, working with friends very difficult, twin brothers, mashallah, you guys work very close together. I'm sure there's got to be times where you guys have bumped heads, disagreed on things. What happens in that situation?
The only time we really bump heads, and I wouldn't even call it bumping heads, I'd call it more of a reality check, is when I know that he's not performing to his best of his ability, and he can see that I'm not performing to the best of my ability, which happens now and again. We're human beings.
Accountability sort of thing.
Exactly. But all it is Hassan, Hussain, come on, we can do better now. Let's push it. Let's focus on this. And you're absolutely right. Let's do it. There's no back and forth because we're very honest with each other. Yeah. We're both seasoned business people. And so we can identify straight away when we're not feeling our best selves and performing to the highest level that we can perform at. And we just tell each other straight.
Hasn't there been a moment where you guys have disagreed on a big decision or anything?
I don't think so, no. I think because we've got such a connection and we've got that synergy, if he's got an idea and I've got a different idea, we'll just talk about it, and then I'll either agree with him or he will agree with me, and then we'll just move on.
That's crazy.
That's how it is in our world. And it's the 15th of the month, 15th of August. We've had a record month so far, but I would say we've only celebrated like one day of this month. The rest of the days have been us slightly frustrated, pushing, and trying to improve and make ourselves better. And that's the difference between us and other people. Other people will be so satisfied with the performance so far this month, but because we want so much of ourselves and our company and our team, we push ourselves every single day. And if you want to be somebody who reaches the next level of success, you can't be comfortable with your performance. You have to always want best. You have to always want more from yourself, and that's the only way you're going to elevate. And also, as well, just to add to that, if you do want real success, and if you want to make real movements early on in your life, you can't be somebody who just works on one thing. If you think about it, you have a fork. A fork has three metal spikes that essentially hooks into the food. Is that more effective, the fork having 3 spikes of metal or having 1 spike of metal? More effective with 3, and that's life. You have to have a parallel approach. You have to have different things happening at the same time. You have to have different areas of a business that you're focused on. You can't just do one thing at a time. We're currently working on smilewhite.co.uk, Yorkshire Dental Suite, multiple branches opening up, the Dental Nurse Association, which is an association that we have for nurses, Successful Dentist Academy. There's like 8 or 9 different projects that we're working on right now.
Fair play, man.
An association that we have for nurses, by the way, we give out thousands to nurses that we haven't even met across the UK to give them a boost in their life. We randomly give out prizes, we give them education. We've created a community where nurses feel valued. They actually feel like they're part of something. Who else has done that? And it's because we give so much in our lives that we receive as well. We randomly help homeless people that are in need, so much stuff that we don't even mention. And if you're somebody that can think about others and actually care about people, that's not just yourself, you will see so much in your life. You just see abundance, you see great things happening, random things that just pop up in your life that you think, oh, this is just chance, but really it's not. It's the universe giving you back what you give out.
Yeah, I was going through your content, and I was just thinking, even I would love to work for you guys. The amount of gifts you give to your staff and stuff.
Tomorrow we're surprising a woman who's won the nation's worst smile giveaway. She's going to be given a £26,000 full mouth implant treatment completely free of charge. We're going to surprise her tomorrow in her house, and we're heading over like 2.5 hours. That's the travel time to get there. So that's going to be an epic video. Can't wait to see her reaction. But that's the stuff that we're on. It's all about the universe, the vibrations, the frequency that you're giving out. What are you doing to receive? But most dentists out there can't even fathom for a second giving away a 26k treatment plan. They would probably burst out crying. That's the difference between us and them. We have an abundant mindset. We don't, in our minds, money's not even that real. It's basically just like a few digits.
You just said that, yeah. You know what people in the comments are going to say? Oh, it's easy for you to say that you got all the money now.
Well, my response would be, we got all the money now because we've had an abundant mindset, because we have grafted and worked our butts off, irrespective of money. And now we're in a position where we understand and we've researched. And Hassan actually has a degree in Austrian economics, and he understands how the financial system works. So if I ask you, Hassan, is money real? What's your answer to that? Money isn't real. It's made out of thin air, and people need to understand this. Now, we don't really want to go deep into the financial system and how things work. But what I would say to people saying that you can say money isn't real because you have loads of money, get money yourself. Yeah. All money is it's given to somebody in exchange for goods or services. So if you can produce a good or a service that's of value to someone else, they will give you their money to you in exchange for that good or service. And all you have to do is, instead of doing that for one person, do it for many more people and scale it up, and you'll get more money. It's really, really easy.
You know what? Just hearing you guys talk, makes it a lot clearer for me to see why you guys are very successful. Your mindset is very on point. You mentioned earlier about having mentors in your life. Me personally, I'm one of those guys. Unfortunately, I have to learn from my own mistakes. I'm trying to get to that stage where I'm trying to I think I am at that stage where if I was to get advice and people have learned from their own mistakes, I'll try and take that on board a lot more seriously than I used to. But I think looking back, I was one of those guys that had to learn from my own mistakes. I had to kind of get that punch in the face to kind of learn, okay, I don't need to do that. They were right. Let me do, whatever they were saying or their advice. So how important is having a mentor in sort of kind of building a business or growing or, becoming successful?
So important, but there's a saying, when the student is ready, the master will appear. So many people say, I need a mentor, I want a mentor, but they haven't even built their foundations of success. You'll never get a mentor that way. All a mentor will do is they will take somebody from success to significance. It's your job to go from stability to success. Agreed. And not many people know that. They say, mentor, mentor, mentor. The universe will attract a mentor to you by how successful you are already. And I'm not talking about financial success here. Yeah. I'm talking about who you are as a person. Are you respectful? Do you do the right thing? Do you have a great routine? Are you disciplined? Are you fit, healthy, and in shape? But Abdul, a mentor will only help people with the right characteristics. They're not just going to mentor you for the sake of mentoring you. Mm. And it's crazy the way we met our mentor, who's worth over £300 million, and we see him every single day, and he basically works with us like a partner right now. And it's got to the stage where we're kind of mentoring him in some aspects of life. It's crazy. During COVID, Leeds was like tier 2, where you had to stay at home and you couldn't leave. Whereas Harrogate, 20 minutes away from here, was tier 3 or tier 2 or the other way around. But basically, we went to Harrogate to go to a restaurant and enjoy ourselves. It was me, him, and a dentist that works for us.
Okay.
We went to the Ivy in Harrogate, had the best meal ever. And a table next to us was this couple, married couple. And when you meet eye contact with somebody and you just kind of start speaking to them, that's what kind of happened. We started speaking about life, his last year in Spain. He basically moved to Spain and what he's basically had planned for the next year. And then at the end, we'd had so much fun. I paid for their bill just out of love. And then I'd left the restaurant. He chased me outside the restaurant. No one's ever paid for my bill. I must get you a coffee. I can't believe you've just done that. Anyway, he invited us round to his house the next week, one of the nicest areas in the UK, in a 46-bedroom castle he lived in. Damn. That was when we saw a different world. We could not believe it. Since then, he's been one of our closest allies. He's guided us on our journey. He's steered us on the right path. And it's a perfect example of when you can give value to somebody and genuinely show love without expecting something back, massive things can happen in your life. And that's the universe saying to us, be generous, be abundant, and good things will come. And right now in our life, he's like a mini angel. He's stopped so many bad things from happening. He's guided us on our journey, and he's just been an absolute blessing in our life.
This mentor, how much value, monetary-wise, has he brought to your life?
In future potential, I would say $1 billion. We've got a target of being billionaires.
Okay.
And he's massively helped us on our roadmap, on our journey, in one day, inshallah, getting to that target. These kind of people that have sold their companies for hundreds of millions, they operate with a different mindset. And that's the mindset that we've adopted through living every single week in a strict business, in a growing business where things are happening, there's obstacles, there's things to overcome. And every single week we learn something new. And with me, and I'm not a Muslim scholar, but the way that I see the situation, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, is that God has put the idea of what we are capable of achieving in our minds through this person.
Yeah.
It might be right, it might be wrong, but it's just what I believe. And I feel like that happens sometimes in life, because sometimes it can just take one person saying, you can do this, but the way they say it being so convincing enough that it makes you fully believe that you can achieve it. And before you know it, you're taking action towards that goal. And I'd say we're 40% in now towards our goal. And we're 2 years in, few years left, 40% in. Things are going really well, thanks to God. Most people don't know they're being programmed every single day by their family, by their environment, by their friends on how to think. And the truth is, what you think basically will appear in your life at some stage. We've seen it time and time again. Your thoughts shape your reality. And if you're living at home and your parents are telling you, go to school and do this and do that and work this job, you can't do this, you can't do that, save your money, save it in the bank, don't spend. Most people don't realize that they're being shaped, their future's being shaped by their environment, by their parents, by their friends, by their families. And what we hear each day, it subconsciously programs our minds. Whenever your mum says to you, son, don't buy this, don't buy that, don't spend this. Yeah, our mums care for us, they love us, but they don't know how to be millionaires or billionaires. So take what they tell you with a pinch of salt. ultimately, if you save money in the bank, it's going to stay there. But if you can have an abundant mindset and invest in your knowledge, buy that course, buy that
So
book,
true.
learn skills needed. Information is power. And you'll only see different things in your life with new information. You have to level up now. And anybody that's watching this, if you actually want to become something big in life, you've got to change the information that you're inputting in your mind. Stand in front of the mirror every single day and tell yourself, I am a beast, I am successful, I am born to be great, I am on a journey to success. If you can program your subconscious mind and your mind to become a winner, you will become a winner. And I know confidence is quite a big thing these days, especially in the youth, the male youth. They feel like they don't have any confidence. But are you telling yourself every single morning that I am a confident person, I am a strong person, I am so happy and proud of myself? If you're not, you should be. Because just think about it, how do you think you will feel every single day if you tell yourself in the morning with genuine belief that you are a confident person who is proud of yourself? It's just going to emulate throughout your whole life and who you are and how you feel. And we've done it before when we first started off. And what happens is you start to carry out actions that make you more confident. You have more motivation in the gym. You have more motivation towards keeping a perfect diet. You have more motivation towards how you dress, how you look. And before you know it, you do become ultra confident. And that has massive benefits in other areas of your life.
I'm just thinking, like, a lot of people, when they see successful people talking and giving advice, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you just got lucky.
Or they'll be like, comments on TikTok saying, oh, another mindset guru.
Yeah.
Those are the people that will never succeed in life because they aren't prioritizing that new bit of knowledge or that new golden nugget over how they feel. Like, if you can be a person that absorbs knowledge, you will succeed in life. And there's always something that you can learn from somebody, even if it's what not to do. And there's two types of successful person. There's one successful person, the first type, which is sort of like a bullet that comes out of a sniper, poof, straight towards a target. It doesn't care about what's going on around it. It leaves the sniper and heads straight towards the target, which might be a financial target, for example, of making a certain amount of money.
Make a certain figure, yeah.
There's a second type of successful person, which is what we like to compare ourselves to, which is sort of like a shotgun spraying and loads of bullets spraying in different directions and covering different areas. Right now, we're campaigning to save NHS dentistry, for example. We bought smilewhite.co.uk, which is providing accessible, professional dental products at a really great price to consumers across the UK. We've got the dental clinics that we have that we're building and scaling. We have the Dental Nurse Association. There's so many different areas that we're working on, and we're carrying all these different areas together with us towards our end goal. And that's the way to be, and good things and better things will come along.
It's crazy. Like, I asked you guys about your age earlier, and you only told me, what, 27?
27.
I remember when I was 27, I wasn't juggling as many things as you are. And fair play, you know what I mean? You got a long time to go.
Thank you.
And I believe you get the billionaire status. You will get there with the self-belief that you guys have got.
Thank you.
One thing I'll say about being a billionaire, you know, there's a lot of stereotypes, I'd say, with being a billionaire. There's two things I want to mention about being a billionaire. And I think it was Mark Cuban that said this, and I mentioned this on a previous podcast as well, is everyone with hard work can become a millionaire. You know, millionaire is not out of reach for anyone. As long as you put in some work, dedication, and time, you know, you can get that millionaire status. But to become a billionaire, there has to be an element of luck. There has to be, so you're doing the right thing at the right time. So what would you say to that?
I would say it's all numbers game. Life is a numbers game. If you can work backwards from your end goal, you can map out what's needed to be done to get there. A £1 billion company is, in our industry, worth 100 million profit. Times it by 10 EBITDA and it'll get to £1 billion. How do you get from 100 million to, well, how do you get to 100 million? You work backwards. You need X amount per week, which breaks down to a daily target, which breaks down to a number of sales, which breaks down to a number of inquiries, leads, and stuff. It's simple, but people
Reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering think, oh, this big £1 billion goal. By the way, we've been programmed to think £1 billion a lot.
I have.
Everyone's been programmed because nobody really wants society to elevate and excel and be millionaires and billionaires.
Limiting beliefs.
And if you can unbreak your limiting beliefs, you can be a new version of yourself, and you'll only see new things in your life by changing who you are. All these things about stay true to yourself, never change, stick to your roots. Again, it's all programming. Why would you want to be the same for the rest of your life? life's about evolution. You have to change, you have to learn new things, learn new traits, improve that lack that you have. If you're lacking confidence, learn how to become confident. Everything can be learned. If you're bad at maths, with 1 month of learning, you'll become good at maths. And it's all down to the fact that we think we cannot change, but actually, you've got who you are right now, which is your current self. And you will only become happy if you can work towards your ideal self. It's that gap there. That's the cause of unhappiness. And if you can work from who you are right now towards who you want to become, that feeling of happiness is just unbeatable.
You know, I could talk about this topic about being a billionaire for ages, because, and I agree with you, because, you know, even for me, and I said it earlier, like, you know, becoming a billionaire, you know, even to have that goal, you have to have some sort of audacity to say those things.
And also, if you have goals as well, say them out loud. Yeah. Nobody says their goals out loud anymore. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
How many people says that I want to make?
Because there's a fear of...
No one says it. There's a fear of like Nazar and evil eye.
Yeah.
Which is all fantastic, and we all know Nazar is real and evil eye is real. But if you pray 5 times a day, if you protect yourself with dua, then the fact is, you're protected. If you have this paranoia about you're going to get struck with evil eye, you'll just live life paranoid. Take that fear away, protect yourself, do what you got to do, but carry on about your day and go and attack your goals. And the fact is, by the way, we don't really care about £1 billion. The truth is, after 10 million, 20 million, what can you really buy other than a yacht and a plane?
I've heard
it's
that.
not about
the goal. Life doesn't change. So when you're earning up until, say if you're earning £10,000 a month, your life changes dramatically. 10 to 25 changes a bit more, but then after £25,000 a month, there's not much difference.
What are you gonna do?
That's what I've heard. Yeah,
you're gonna go out and buy a new watch or buy a new car.
Yeah.
It gets boring. You know, how many watches and cars can you buy? The fact is, after 10 million, 20 million, 5 million, there's only a certain amount you can buy. But it's about that target, achieving that target, and the person that you become along that journey.
Okay, the journey.
Sure, the person that you will evolve into to achieve that target.
I like that.
And that growth is just fantastic. But it's also that satisfaction of building something massive.
Yeah.
The biggest wins that we see right now is when we hit records, when our team are smashing it, when we've tried a new strategy to infiltrate a certain area of a marketplace and it works. It's the wins on the journey. It's not just about the money, it's the wins. So, for example, with Yorkshire Dental Suite, we do some treatment plans that are £26,000, but we actually get happier right now by a few £1,000s aligner treatment that comes through, and there's so many of them coming through now because it's about the wins of Smile White. We're building the company up.
I'll get that.
So, and that's what it's all about, the journey of the wins.
What was a crucial point? Is there a time in your life when like the penny dropped and be like, you know what, I can do this? Like, I can, like, why am I limiting my own sort of capabilities or beliefs?
It's when, really good question, sorry to slightly put you in there, but the day that we realized that we can do this was the day that we could fully picture ourselves on that day when we sell our company for £1 billion and we've achieved that goal. That's the day that we knew we could do it. It was the day when we could fully visualize our target. And that's all it is, visualization. But then we looked into our actual journey and how we're going to get there. We looked at the competition, and there's nobody in dentistry right now, in the private industry. There's My Dentist, Bupa, massive chains, but there's no real talent there in the board of directors or the management structure they have in place or the way they structure their operation. It's nothing special at all. It's not innovative. It's not unique. It's not disruptive. It's everything that we are. So
I always say that. So, you know, if you look at like the most successful businesses out there and the guys that are running them, they're not necessarily geniuses. You know, that was perseverance, consistency, and hard work.
We went to go lecture at King's College London. They called us to do a talk on success to the dental students. We flew by helicopter from Leeds to London Battersea. There's a helipad right in the city centre of London. Just after we arrived, there was like Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid landing. And there was a business person that also landed. Must have been 50, CEO of a massive company, jumped off the helicopter with a little MacBook, and he jumped into a 7 Series off to a meeting. He was probably running £1 billion organisation, but the fact is, he isn't an alien. He's not some sort of super creation. He's a human just like me and you. And when you see how these people at the top are just normal people, you think, I can do that as well.
It humanizes you. And I think that's one of the things that I want to do with this podcast as well.
Yeah.
You know, you guys, people, I know that there's a lot of guys that look up to you within the industry, people at the industry. You guys are smashing the game at such a young age, and it's nice to see. But, you know, just sitting down with you guys now, you're such nice people. There's no egotist. You know, you came, you welcomed. We're sitting in their home right now. mashallah, very, very nice, beautiful home. And it's nice to see, because then it's like, these guys are just like us. If they can do it, we can
Definitely, without a doubt.
And is that what you guys seen when you seen these like billionaires and stuff? Is that
all these billionaires do is think on a bigger scale. They wake up the same in the morning. They go to sleep. They put their socks in the same way. They just think different. That's the only difference. And they've got team members that they can delegate to get their job done. But they're also experts in building machines and not being stuck inside the machine. They're experts at building machines on a big scale, operating them, knowing where to put the engine oil so they run smoothly, and replicating those machines in different areas where there's other gaps in marketplaces to grow the worth of their company.
Bit of a random question. If you guys weren't dentists, what would you guys be doing right now?
Definitely in business. And I was saying this to Hassan. We would be successful in any business that we went into.
That was going to be my next question.
Bakery, whatever it might be, I'd make the best cakes. They'd sell out. Fitness. Well, we started doing CrossFit. So we were thinking of starting a new brand of fitness, which combines bodybuilding, business, and CrossFit, called BossFit.
I like that. Do you ever guys get to a point where like, good, how many businesses did you mention earlier? Like, how many businesses are you guys involved in?
There's about 7 or 8 different projects that we're working on right now.
Yeah.
We have businesses within businesses as well. So we've got like 12 areas that we're working on right now.
So do you not ever get to a point where you think, oh, I'm taking on a bit too much now?
Yeah, but that pushes you to be a different version of you. It levels you up.
Because some people at that point will be like, no, I'm going to stretch myself too thin. I won't be able to put as much attention on a certain business over another one. If you focus on this new business that you've got now, one might start slacking. There's 2 of you, which is obviously a benefit.
Massive help.
Which is another thing that I wanted to slightly discuss. But isn't there a point where you just think, oh, now I'm putting my hands in too many pies?
That's called a pressure point. At that point, there's a team issue. So you need to build a team out in the area where there's pressure.
Okay.
And that's how you grow as a business. If you're feeling like you're under immense pressure and things aren't getting done and you're taking on too much, it means that you're invested too much in that specific area of the business. And so you need to get somebody else on board who can relieve that pressure and build a team out under them.
I get that. That makes 100% sense.
When I get to a stage where I feel there's a lot of pressure, I actually get happy. It's like when you're doing a workout and you feel that last few reps, it's really burning your muscle.
That's when it's working.
And in business, when you get to that stage where you feel that pressure, it's great, because that's when the competition drop off. They cop out and tap out, but we continue forward and we push on and we endure that pressure. And the fact is, it's the pump, right? You've got the water pump. You keep pumping it, water flows out, water flows out, water flows out. But it gets to a stage where it just starts flowing. And the same in business. You keep going through pressure, and all of a sudden there's no more pressure there. Everything just starts to flow.
You guys seem as if nothing can faze you. If I'm being totally honest, the way you guys are speaking now, it feels like, throw anything your way, you're going to be able to handle it one way or another, which is great. But has there been, looking back, a moment where you guys have thought, I don't know if I can do this, or, is this the right decision for us to go ahead?
No. I would say we've had the most stressful day today in the last 3 months easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to tell
because we're here.
No. During the day today, we had easily 3 things that we had to overcome, which was sorted out. But it's 7 p.m. right now. We've got a podcast with you. We would be doing you a disjustice by coming here, oh yeah, today's been a hard day, can we postpone it? No. Because we've got respect for you, and we'll be doing you a disservice, basically. So we're here, we want to get the job done. That's life.
So
you can either be a victim or you can be a beast. There's no excuses. We're here to get the job done, ultimately. If in business you can't hack a few obstacles, then business isn't for you. Tap out, go start a 9 to 5 and just have a normal job. Go home after 5 p.m, watch telly, order a pizza, go to sleep and do the thing the next day. And to every problem as well that you face within life, there is a solution. And if you can't think of the solution, then you aren't applying your mind. That's how it works. If a problem is that pressing, you'll be able to sit down. It might take you 10 minutes, it might take you 15 minutes, it might take you 3 hours. But if you fully apply your mind, there will be a way out of it every single time.
Bulletproof mind.
Unless the Godfather's got his pistol to your head, then it's game over. Then you're gone.
That's literally called minted mind, That's a minted mind right there. I like it.
Prove that.
I like it.
Come on. Can I just give you a shout as well, Abdul?
Go on then.
Hats off to you. You come from Birmingham, 2.5 hour drive. You put the work in. And that mindset that you have, it's going to get you far in life. How many people would just stay a local Birmingham or do a few podcasts, go to London? But you're putting yourself out there. You're coming out of your comfort zone. And life begins outside of your comfort zone. So trust me, you're on a journey, you're on a hustle right now. You might feel a bit of pain here and there, but keep persevering, and it's going to pay back.
I appreciate that, guys, man. It means a lot coming from you guys. Appreciate it. And like you said, before this podcast, I wasn't one of those guys that would put myself. I don't like pictures. So for me to even consider putting out a camera and putting myself out there, you guys feel.
Call you a painting, man.
With you two next to me, bro. I look like,
you can have the painting award.
Should we swiftly move on to a little bit of a lighter subject? There are a few more businessy type questions I want to get into. But now that you brought this up, good luck, guys.
We can talk about business all day.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of it.
I've noticed a lot in your comments, there's a lot of people that ask you, are you guys single? Yeah? Two good looking lads. Are you guys single?
No comment.
No, I'm not leaving it. Again, that's
where's the other Mama? No comment. There's a defense to every offense. Yeah, we're both single.
Yeah? Both single?
Both single.
Okay.
We're married to the hustle.
We're married to the game.
Married to the game.
I like that. You have to be...
We get that whole marriage lecture from our parents every 6 weeks. Sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. It's going to happen when it's going to happen. The thing is, when you get to a certain phase in your life, you want to be the right person. Like, I don't just want to be pressured into marrying somebody and then regretting after a year.
Yeah, but when is the right moment?
I know.
Look, outside perspective, you guys are smashing it. Yeah, you're fit, good shape, mashallah. You're very obviously doing very well in life. So for an average person, that would be like, I'm just ready for the next step, which is to get married, have kids.
It's funny because, I'll shout out my mum here. So basically, we're Libyan, right? So obviously, all parents want to make sure you're married from your same country. So our mum's like obsessed about the fact that we've got to marry a Libyan girl. So she's always saying about Libyan girl. But then Hassan, he's like, oh, mum, can she be half Libyan, half Latina? For me personally, I think there's two types of wife. There's a stable, steady wife where it's comfortable and you go home and it's nice and boring, cozy.
Boring.
Or you go for a second type of wife who takes you for a ride of a lifetime. It's one of those two. I say it's option B, the ride of his life. The thing is, like, with my wife, I don't want a wife that's like, oh, I want to go to work today and, bring money. I'm like, let me just take care of the money. Hussein's wife's going to get a broken back every week. I want you to make sure your nails are done. You got fresh mani-pedi, your eyebrows are on fleek. You've got a nice outfit going on. You're looking fantastic. You're loving life, and you just show me love and affection.
Now that you said that, how many girls are going to be in your DM? I'm sure there's a lot anyway.
I'm going to call Hussain every night. He's going to say, I'm watching Netflix.
but like what you just said, I'm pretty sure is every girl's dream, for a guy to look after them, provide for them, protect them, to take care of them. You've got the facilities to do that. So why are you not doing that?
The thing is, like, I know there's a lot of hype on social media about, like, man's role, woman's role. The fact is, I genuinely want my missus to just be a queen and be a princess and just chill out.
What about if she wanted to work?
I would just have a sit down with her and say, why do you want to work? Like,
yeah, but just like
life isn't made to work. Life is designed to enjoy. Ultimately, if you want to work, fantastic. But I would always put the argument forward that why work when you can just relax, enjoy life? Hit up Selfridges.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't buy that life either. No, I was joking. No, but I get that because but there are some girls that would want a career. They would want to even start their own business, and there are women out there that do that.
The reason as to why I wouldn't want my missus to work is because we live such intense lifestyles. We've got adrenaline going through our veins every single day. I'd want to come home to a missus who's just relaxed and just going to bring me down a bit. Okay, not talk about her struggles throughout the day and this customer hasn't paid or this hasn't happened.
What's your preference?
My preference is just somebody who can just not work and not hustle and be loving, be caring, and just be that person who brings you down on an evening.
You know what's crazy? I can hear the feminist screaming through the screen saying, let's just say, for example, she's dependent on you now. Yeah. So she's coming to your life. She's dependent on you financially. Things are going well. And we all know we're living in a society where divorce rates are going through the roof. I'm not saying it will. God forbid that it ever will. But let's just say, and she might be thinking this, like, what about if you decide to leave me one day? Then I'm on my ass, not being able to provide for myself because you've been providing for me for all this time. I get it because I'm kind of like you. I want to be the provider, the protector. And I think it's in our DNA as men that we want women want to be able to feel safe with a man. I get that. But I'm just hearing like the few girls that are screaming through the screen like, no, what about you taking our freedom away from me? What would you say to them people?
Ultimately, it's a risk, right? When you join, it's a risk on both parties. You know, it's a risk on the guy's side and also a girl's side. I think if you have a small bit of doubt that it's not going to work out, don't get together. Ultimately, you can't get together and then think, oh, he might leave me, because then you're probably going to manifest a ruined relationship. You have to go into full confidence. I'm sure if the guy loves you, like, I'm going to take care of my missus financially, she'll have her own account, you know, make sure she's got a nice monthly allowance.
Well, your DMs are going to be going off. Do you have a similar like view on that?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. I'd add to that as well. We both, in the future, do want to have families as well. And a massive responsibility and a massive duty is raising and taking care of kids. And I feel like mothers don't get enough credit. It's a massively difficult task that we're so blessed to have mothers that do a great job doing so. And it's basically a full-time job. However, from my perspective, if my wife did want to get involved with working and a career, I'd be open to that as well, as long as it wasn't giving her immense amounts of stress and her feeling like she has to do it for money. It'd have to be out of love and out of pleasure. So it's just one of those where it's a balance between what you feel like the wife would want to do for her to feel fulfilled and happy, and what you feel like you don't want her doing, i.e. having to feel immense pressure every single day to earn financially and go through trials and tribulations to make money, because that would be my responsibility, my duty.
Okay, quick fire. Top three qualities that you look for in a woman.
Loyal, loving, takes care of herself. Loyal, loving, takes care of herself.
You know what, this nicely brings me on to my next section. You know, you guys being twins, yeah? I want to ask a few questions that may be a bit, I wouldn't even say controversial, a bit funny maybe. Okay, have you guys ever taken advantage of being twins? Don't give me any examples.
School, yeah, we have done, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever pretended to be each other?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, can you give us a...
Back at school, we switched for one exam.
You switched an exam?
Yeah. I can say it now because
your qualifications might be taken away from you. Right, let's kind of stay on this topic of relationships, because I know a lot of people may be interested in your perspective on things. Yeah, I'm going to ask you what could be a controversial topic. Do you believe that guys and girls can be friends?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it does sound convincing.
Yeah, so, you know, hi, how are you? How's your day going?
Okay.
What are you up to? Stuff like that. So, like, yeah, like a friendly relationship, of course.
Okay. Can I give you an example? Can I give you a scenario and let me tell you if you're happy with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Say you're married.
Yeah.
Okay, you're happy, in love, everything, yeah? She's got a work colleague, yeah, and she has business meetings with them, fine. And then they have to have meetings outside of working hours in a coffee shop one-to-one. Are you happy with that?
When were you faced with this situation? When did it happen to you? You described it too in detail.
Too detail. The scenario came to me. Like I was trying to start, the scenario came to me, so I was just interested to see what your perspective would be.
I think if she's a 10-10, then red flag, not going to wash.
Okay.
If it's just like a normal girl who you can tell the vibe when someone's just a mate, right?
Okay.
But if someone's more than a mate, the vibe is obvious as well. I think it just comes down to common sense. If she's obviously like fully dressed up, you know, like full face of makeup, got her wedding dress on and she's walking the Costa Coffee to have a coffee with him.
Nah, that makes sense. Actually.
Yeah, then it's probably not just a friend thing.
So it's like a circumstantial thing. So it's not like a black or white answer. It's more like...
But you guys are saying circumstantial, but the fact is, wifey's not going to care about the vibe. She's just going to see what she sees in front of her, which is her husband with another woman who's being very friendly. So I think you have to see the woman's eyes as well. Out of respect, you know, if it's a meeting to do with work, then it can be done with the wife present maybe. It doesn't have to be like a whole like one-to-one thing. I think it just comes down to like context, circumstance, and also like a respect for your wifey.
Okay. Another thing that I want to do, a few more, before we wrap up, guys, there's a few more things that I wanted to discuss with you guys. One thing is, you know, you mentioned earlier that you guys travel via, you know, private jets which is, you know, mashallah, fair play to you guys. If you can afford that, then do your thing. But I know a lot of people, especially in the comments, are saying, you know, as if you guys are taking private jets, you're meant to be good people, etc., etc. So what's your take on taking private jets?
Flying private doesn't make you a bad person.
It's just like a stereotype that people have.
With flying private, it's just like a different world. It's just next level. It's so fun, and it just basically like tops the trip off. Yeah. So we're flying out to Spain, chartered a PJ. It's called a Praetor 300, Praetor 600, next level PJ, and it's just a whole vibe. You know, pulling up, private terminal. You don't have to get there 2 hours before or 3 hours before. They do the check-in for you. They put the bags on. There's no security, and then you just land in that country within a couple of hours. It's so fun. And you book the whole flight over the phone through the operator as well. So it's the easiest way to book flights.
When was the first time you took a private jet?
About 6 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, so it's quite recent.
Yeah, about 6 months ago. We've flown, this will be a total of 4 times since then, privately. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be on a nice yacht, private jets, luxury holidays, because it makes you work harder and it makes you want to become more successful. There's no harm in enjoying the nicer things in life.
Is there any going back from private jets though? Like, say you've taken a private jet today, and then say one day you just have to go on a busy trip. Are you always going to take private jets then?
It's almost like you're out on a date with a 1010.
Yeah.
Nice restaurant, and then you basically, the next day it's like,
Like
I'm like, what's going on here? When you get accustomed to like the 1010, you obviously want to stay over 1010. So it's a similar thing with like PJs, you know, if it's like private, you don't want to go back to Ryanair, you know, hostess telling you to like chuck your bag under your chair and just bossing you around. You want to stay flying private, and it puts you into pressure to work harder to make more money, to be able to maintain that lifestyle.
Do you not ever get scared in case, and it'll probably make you work harder, which I'm assuming that's going to be sort of your answer, but like, do you not ever get scared in case it all gets taken away?
Do you know what fear stands for?
Go on.
FEAR, false expectations appearing real. We're never fearful of anything in our lives.
False expectations
appearing real. We don't think can't do, we think can do. If you're going to live life worrying about something could happen, what's the point? Do the right thing, have faith in God, do what you got to do. Stuff's not going to go as planned, but you can't live life worrying about stuff. What kind of life is that?
Fair play, man. Fair play. Hopefully one day, inshallah, I'll join you guys on a PJ and that.
More than welcome anytime, man.
You guys have got siblings, so there's a total of 4 of you guys, yeah?
Yeah.
So you 2 guys are the oldest, and you got 2 younger siblings. Now, I'm assuming that they are living a different life than you guys were living at their age. For example, you guys at 21, 19 were living a completely different lifestyle. So what is it like as an older brother, them being brought up into wealth? What is it that you guys are sort of doing to kind of protect them?
I think as older brothers, when you see your younger brothers coming into a family that's already successful, you think, okay, they could turn out to be spoiled, or they can become inspired and want to become even more successful. And they've definitely been the type of brothers, thank God, that look at the situation they're in and want to achieve more and do more and push themselves to be great, which I see them doing every single day. We're very proud of our younger brothers. They work hard every single day and they take on responsibilities that I haven't seen anybody else in the whole of the UK really take on at their age. And it's a blessing because it could have gone either way, but they've definitely gone down the positive, aspirational, great route to go down.
Yeah. But was that like a conscious thing that you were mindful of, like when they were like, obviously you guys are doing well, these guys are growing up, and it's so easy because you want the best for your family. You're going to give them everything that you can give them. Was that like were you mindful of this?
Definitely. I mean, we've got a lot of wealthy friends that have siblings, and the little kids like dodos. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what time of day it is. So we were mindful to make sure that our younger brothers, and shout out to Muhammad and Ali, we love you guys so much, that they would grow up to be high value people that can just contribute to the family, to business, but also have a successful life in their own right. Ali, he's got his own sales team. They brought in 6 figures. Jeez. So far this month. We're halfway through the month, and that's down to his leadership with his team. Mohammed's the brains behind our whole PR. He was speaking to you to get you on board and to organise your trip. That's down to him. You know, they work so hard, they contribute to our business, to our family, and they're not just here for the ride, they're here to contribute towards the whole journey as well. So it's great.
I like that, man. I like that. I can tell you guys have got a close bond with your siblings. You know, you guys have been very hospitable Thank you for arranging this.
They've just ordered some pizza as well.
Cheers! I know I should be laying off the pizza. They're trying to get back in shape. How are you guys doing?
Protein pizza.
Right. Before we wrap up, one more question. Well, two more questions. With the whole dentistry industry, where do you think that's going in the future? Where do you think that's going?
It's a great question because the UK dental market is changing massively, and we believe that with smilewhite.co.uk, that's contributed to a big part of the change that's happening. Patients are sick and tired of choosing aligners to straighten the teeth and paying £5,000-6,000 at their local dentist. They now want a more cost-effective, value for money way of aligning their teeth, but still go to a dentist for the treatment, and that's what Smile White Aligners does. But if we move Smile White to one side and the great things it's doing with providing patients with great value for money, high quality dentistry, but at an affordable price for the dentist, we look at the actual dental clinic industry, and dental clinics is becoming more privatized because the NHS is under a massive amount of strain. We're actually campaigning right now to get NHS dentistry back on track. So we have some really exciting plans for that. And that's what's going to be happening in the future. The NHS needs to really get back on track. We're going to really help push that forward, but it will be more of a hybrid way of doing dentistry. So companies like ours, smilewhite.co.uk, dentistry done by a dentist in a dental clinic, but at an online price. And with dentistry becoming more privatized, private dentists are starting to realize that grass isn't greener just being a private dentist. You have to learn how to communicate with patients, sell a treatment plan, market to patients, gain new inquiries. And we identified a massive gap in that whole marketplace. Everyone thinks dentists are rich, but there are a lot of poor dentists. And that's the reason as to why we made the Successful Dentist Academy, to teach dentists how to become successful, what mindset you need, how to get your own inquiries, how to communicate with patients, how to convert patients from inquiries onto treatment plans. All these things were not taught at dental school. So we're here to bridge that gap between how to become not just a dentist, but to become a high-earning, successful dentist.
You know, if people wanted to reach out and find out more information regarding that, how can they sort of...
Just hit us up on Instagram, Twin Dentist. The site's called successful-dentist.com, and we've got a massive intake of students that are just massively learning how to become more successful and earning more money as well.
I know I said I was going to wrap it up, but just one quick one, yeah. Say, for example, yeah, you get a patient that comes in and they want, like, I don't know, veneers or something.
Yeah.
And you know it's not going to suit them, or they want those big fake ones, or it's not something that you'd definitely recommend, but they're strongly, like, pushing for it. Where do you go? Like, because if it's something that you're against, but you can do it for them, or you know it's not going to suit them, but they're really pushing for it, like, how do you...
You can refuse treatment, right? So basically, as a dentist, you have to be ethical. If you know that it's not in their best interest, you have to explain why. So veneers aren't right for you because of X, Y, and Z. Don't just say no. Every customer requires, or every patient requires, a great level of service. And if you explain it's not in their best interest, they're not going to start swearing and bawling. They're going to understand. And sometimes it just needs that level of explanation for them to say, okay, thank you for your advice. I'll go ahead and get straightening or just teeth whitening.
You know, like I've seen, those people that get their veneers and they shave it down. You know, that point thing that you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
Is that how the veneers are put on? Like, you got to shave the teeth?
They're more crowns. So crowns is where you shave off a lot of the tooth. Veneers is more the front surface. That's why in dentistry it's best to get more of a minimally invasive procedure like composite bonding. And that was what was happening with turkey teeth. Yeah. Patients in the UK were seeing adverts online for cheap treatments, literally a few £1,000s for a full smile makeover, which is a crazy price. And so they were going to Turkey to have the treatment done there. But the problem was they were seeing bad dentists in Turkey, because there are some very good dentists in Turkey, but they're not as cheap as what's being advertised. And so because they were going out to Turkey for a weekend trip to have a full smile makeover done, their teeth were being shaven down, they were given crowns. And what happens when you shave a tooth down is it damages the tooth, first of all. But second of all, it means that you now have a treatment that you'll have to have repeated every 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Even for young people.
So it's not just a permanent thing?
It's not a permanent thing. You have to have it repeated every 10, 15 years. And what happens is, when you do have the treatment, like crowns, repeated, the dentist actually has to shave the crowns down to put new ones on. But by doing that, more tooth is shaven down.
Yeah.
So if you imagine it over a lifetime of somebody,
no, nothing left. Really.
There you go. The tooth will get shaven down more and more. And that's why our message to people is, don't go to Turkey and save a little bit of money. think about the longevity of your smile and your life and your future. And if you factor that in, as well as having to potentially go back to Turkey to fix any dental problems and pay for that plane ticket privately, pay for the hotel room private to see other dentists, and pay them an additional fee to fix the problem, it works out the same as the UK prices, if not more.
So you guys don't recommend getting the teeth shaven straight up?
Not for crowns. We do a lot of porcelain veneer smile makeovers at York Dental Suite.
Okay.
But with a veneer, all you do is you shave the front surface of the tooth down minimally, so only a tiny bit.
Okay.
Literally the thickness of a contact lens, so it's quite safe for the tooth. Whereas with crowns, you shave down the whole 360 of the tooth quite aggressively. So if you can imagine a witch's hat going on something.
I've seen it, man. I've
like
seen it. Yeah, it looks crazy. Yeah. Right, guys, before we wrap up, what do you guys want to say to the haters?
Love you all. I would genuinely say to the haters, I mean, we get a lot of hating dentists. So what I want to say to the haters is, people think hating comments don't affect you, have tough skin, don't worry about the hate comments, just leave them to one side. But the fact is, we do good for people and we give back, like the Dental Nurse Association, for example, and we get so many positive comments from people saying amazing work, well done, we need more people like you. But then we scroll through the comments and we see a negative hate comment from another dentist or from a hater, and it's literally like Mike Tyson punches us in the stomach, because it genuinely does hurt us, because we're emotional people. And I would just say to haters out there, if you are leaving these messages, just think about the impact that you have on the people that you're commenting on, because it does affect them.
I think with haters, it just comes from an insecurity, I think. You know, who's got the energy and time to kind of go out there and leave something so negative?
Yeah.
Especially when people in the same industry as you. That's blatantly from jealousy, do you know what I mean?
It's crazy because we're yet to experience a real life hater. These hate messages from time to time, but whenever we meet people in real life, all it is love. We've never received any form of hate. And what I would say to dentists that hate on us is, look yourself in the mirror. Are you happy with the person that you are? Clearly you're not, because if you were happy, you wouldn't have the energy to spend insulting others. And just on that as well, we have been working so hard for the UK dental professional industry. For example, I'm sure you've heard of Smile Direct Club.
Yeah.
They were just doing teeth straightening aligners super cheap, sending out impression kits to people's houses, and patients across the UK were straightening their own teeth without seeing a dentist, which took billions of pounds out of dentists' pocket. Now that we've bought smilewhite.co.uk, we're doing aligners at still great prices, so at online prices, but completely through a dentist in a dental clinic, and giving that dentist a great fee to see the patient. We are keeping patients with the dentist, rather than patients doing the aligner treatments at home by themselves, by a non-professional company, avoiding the dentist completely. And we've heard lots of thanks now because it's really helping dentists.
Yeah.
But at the start, we didn't really hear anything, and we're getting quite a lot of backlash as well because we were doing things differently. But it was just us fighting in favor of dentists and keeping patients with the dentists.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to bring up was, you know, with a lot of our audience, for example, they're going to be watching this. And the reason why they're going to be watching this because they want to get inspired, motivated. Because a lot of times they're probably not that whole support system around them. People are putting them down. With social media, there's a lot of judgment. They fear putting themselves out there and things like that. What advice would you give to these kids, or even young adults, old people, whoever's watching that needs a bit of inspiration, a bit of motivation? What advice would you give to them?
That's a great question. I think it's a really important question as well. And you mentioned a key thing, support system. And what I would say in response to you is that the youth of today and the people of today who want to do well and succeed in life and live a happy life, they need to be able to support themselves. And the key to all this is what I found from my personal experience, and others saying as well, is accountability and having a routine and going to the gym, because that is the foundation of everything. And we've experienced this in our own lives. And it needs to start early on. From 15 years old, you should be in the gym, training and building your physique, because all that will do is it will increase testosterone levels. It will increase your discipline and the stress levels that you can handle in your day-to-day life, because you're putting your body under stress in the gym. Do that for 5 years, up until around 20 years old, focus mainly on bodybuilding. And then what we need to do is start to implement more CrossFit, circuit, weightlifting style training, because what that will do is it will mean that you engage different muscle fibers. So you completely just transform your physique even more. You stimulate your body in a different way. And also you'll build your endurance and fitness so you can really push through your early 20s through to your 30s. And what will happen then is, because you've started training at 15 years old, you have those foundations for life. So even if when you're working, you might start a family, you fall off training for a little bit, you've got solid foundations you can pick back up on. And that's the key to success. Strong foundations and supporting yourself. And that starts off with the way that you look, the way that you feel, which comes from fitness, discipline, and routine.
I like that, man. You still have a PT right now? You need to do that project you're talking about.
The whole thing now, honestly, because when you look good, when you stay in shape, it inspires people around you. And it's easy for you to get team on board as well because they see you as a disciplined person. And your hormones are balanced, your mood is balanced, your energy is balanced, and it just spirals into different areas of your life. And before you know it, you're already on a roll in life.
Time for me to hit the gym again, man.
You're looking good, man.
Guys, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach out?
YouTube, link in the bio. The Twin Dentists on Instagram and on TikTok, Twin Dentists.
May Allah keep blessing you guys both and bless you with more successful businesses, inshallah.
Same to you.
Guys, that's all we've got for today. And until next time, peace. Cheers.